I've been in denial about this for quite some time. I've known for probably the last few years that I am no longer an independent woman. I was the type of person that took a lot of pride in doing everything for myself by myself. I didn't realize that that is something that's actually very traumatic and not something to be proud of.
We need to have this conversation. In this video, we're going to talk about this feminism to femininity pipeline.
So let me tell you something real quick. The other day I was having a conversation or a debate about how independent women get so much heat. My point was pretty much, I feel like a lot of independent women, walk around like they don't need a man and they could do it all themselves because they've been hurt so much by men. Men been playing her for a damn fool, and she had to go through them closed doors, build herself up to the point where nobody could play her, and now, that's her attitude, that's her aura. A lot of people will call that masculine. Others will say she just thinks highly of herself. At the same time, I feel like it takes a certain type of man to break her barrier down and make her feel more into her femininity.
Me, and the lady ended up giving me my order for free. And then when I was basically just doing my work, a guy came over and was like, sorry, I'm not trying to hit on you, I just want to make friends and your energy is so good, and bought me a Starbucks drink. Never opened my own doors. People are always saying that they're literally obsessed with my energy. Guys are always saying that they want to date me, they want to be exclusive with me right away. What we are using is the Princess Treatment Formula guide. This will basically walk you through step by step how to instantly activate your feminine energy in the moment, tell you exactly how to act in situations, tell you exactly what to say with scripts to get princess treatment, to get everybody to be obsessed with you, gives you the exact affirmations.
Why is it that so many people see the word feminist as a negative thing?
Because I think that feminism has long been associated with the most extreme versions of it. So people think a feminist is sort of a crazy woman who hates men and doesn't shave and...
How did we go from feminism to femininity? It almost feels like going from one extreme to the other extreme. The girlies no longer want the independent life. They no longer want the boss girl, the boss babe life. They now want to rest in their femininity. They want to rest in their feminine energy. They want to live the princess life treatment, and they want it now.
I don't want to be independent anymore. I'm tired.
Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. This is Tinuola right here. If you're just seeing this hot chocolate for the first time, hey, you're welcome. Right here I share valuable content, so if you like the vibe, please consider subscribing down below. Alright, let's talk about why the babes have chosen to go from this feminist outlook to something more traditional, femininity. They want to rest in that princess treatment, that soft life aesthetic, that soft life vibe. And there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to start first from feminist movement and feminism. At its core, it's all about liberating women and empowering women. And the movement was aimed at eliminating inequality between women and men. We're talking about power, status, economic advantage, gender roles, you name it. The movement was all about reducing exploitation and oppression of women. But how did we get here? How did we go from that to what we have today?
Oftentimes in the femininity world and that toxic environment, they kind of teach you guys to be docile, and that's not feminine. What exactly are we teaching young girls to do when we're saying, oh, you wanted to speak this way, and high value man wouldn't want this and a high value man wouldn't want that.
One of the reasons I chose to be child free is because I've seen too many women basically becoming ghosts in their own lives. Back in my 20s, I met a woman that was 30 at the time, and she was everything I wanted to be. Strong, independent, successful. She was the kind of woman that didn't need a man, but that wanted a man. You know the type. The problem wasn't becoming a mother or having a child. It was how society and her partner slapped a label on her. Just a mother, not a woman anymore. And being a mother comes with a whole playbook of double standards. She gave birth, stayed home, took care of the house, took care of the baby, the whole shebang. And what did society call that? Not work. Her partner was also the typical man that was saying, let me help with the baby, thinking that that means actual parenting. Then there's this gem. When she wanted to go back to work, revive her business, you know what people said? But the kid needs the mother. And you weren't going to mess their childhood? Because apparently being a successful woman and a good mom are mutually exclusive. It was useless that a couple of people in her life, including myself, told her, hey, this is BS. Do what makes you happy. But when the majority thinks of you in a way, you tend to believe them, especially because you want the best for your child, right? She grew up knowing for a fact that everyone loves breast. Everyone wants you to whip them out until you need to breastfeed. The fact that she had to breastfeed in bathroom stalls makes me think we're delusional when we think of ourselves as an advanced species. But more than anything, what really surprised me to my core was the fact that her partner was complaining that she's changing, that she's more serious, that she doesn't smile much. Yeah, maybe because she's having postpartum depression. Maybe try and, I don't know, support her. You don't know how? Crazy thought. Google it, research it. For God's sake, there are men that are playing video games for hours or planning their fantasy football team, but you can't research how to be a supportive partner or how to parent full-time, not as a part-time gig. Maybe that's why movements like 4B are becoming so popular nowadays, because collectively we don't appreciate mothers. We don't make space for them, we don't think of them, we don't share their loads. They're expected to work but not complain, to become good mothers but never change, and treat their partner like a man but also like a child, telling him what to do as a parent even though no one tells her. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against motherhood. I'm all for making sure we appreciate it, because it can be there in one breath we complain about it and we say, well, who told you to have kids? But at the same time, we're going to blame women for the population decline.
So let's take a step back in time. The feminist movement started way back, okay? It's not just something that came overnight. It started from like the 19th century when women started clamoring for women's rights to vote. And this was quite effective at that time, but only to a group of women, not all women. You know, the minority group amongst women didn't exactly get this right to vote. So there was a second wave of feminism in the 1960s, which was focusing on workplace equality, reproductive rights. That was also effective to some extent. And then we had the third wave and the fourth wave, which was very recent in 2012 with the Me Too movement. I have to be careful what I say here on YouTube, but you know, it was very recent in 2012 when, you know, feminism also took charge of Twitter and all social media platforms, and people just raging and being very strong and vocal in their feminist energy. Women saying no to patriarchy, capitalism, misogyny, you know, all of that. And we can't talk about feminism if we don't understand, you know, patriarchy and misogyny. In simple terms, patriarchy is a system where men uphold power in the society, and it's usually at the expense of women. Then there's misogyny, which is a sort of hatred or prejudice against women. So these concepts are very important to remember. And I know I'm boring you with all this information. I'll get to my point very soon. But we just have to have a clear idea of all this old thing about feminism for those of you that missed on the old thing way back. I feel old. Patriarchy, misogyny, these are part of the things that feminism was fighting against, still is fighting against. Like I said, feminism is a movement, so it's still ongoing. And the interesting part of feminism is that there are different perspectives. People have different outlook to what feminism should look like. In this article by Simple Sociology, they categorized feminism into 4 categories in terms of the feminist theory, into people that view it from a liberal point. So we have liberal feminism, people that just believe that there should be laws in place to protect women and make sure that women are getting equal pay, equal reproductive rights, and so on and so forth, which I totally agree with, by the way, but that's a liberal feminist outlook. Now, the more interesting one is the radical feminist, which believes in, we need to cancel patriarchy. We need to cancel men. They believe in operating from just a women-dominated society, meaning women handle everything. Women could marry each other. We don't care. Women could do anything towards each other. It should be a women-centric world, and we don't need to center men. That's a very radical feminist outlook. They don't like patriarchy. And we saw this in the 4B movement, which I'm still going to touch on in a sec.
Yeah, so this patriarchy stuff that we've kind of been going along with, it's harming us. I mean, men are treating us like crap. They're unaliving us in droves. So I think we're done. We're not going to partner with them or have their kids. Oh, wow. Okay, so you're just going to throw away your divine purpose of serving me and my kids? Well, then screw you. In fact, we're going to leave you alone first. How about that? Okay, but do you promise? Yes, we promise we're going to leave you alone. You know what? Have fun cleaning up your cat litter. Ladies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but some of y'all are going to have to settle. I mean, you have to. We have got to cut it out with all these gender wars. Hey, I'll settle. Oh my God, why are you talking? I don't understand. Anyway, some of y'all are going to have to settle. I mean,
we also have the Marxist feminism, if I'm calling it right, which believes that capitalism is the root of every problem, every women's problem. They believe that women are exploited from unpaid labor like housework and childcare. They also believe that women are not just baby-making machines and they are not just a reserve for workforce. It's a good way to look at it. That's another perspective. And we have the fourth category of feminism, which is intersectional feminism in terms of feminist theories. And these people focus on feminism for all, feminism for people that are not just discriminated against because they are women, but because they also belong in other minority groups. So it's not just focused on gender, but we're talking about even class, we're talking about race, sexual orientation, Okay, I'm done boring you guys with all those details, but the more we understand those basics, the more interesting, or I think the clearer it gets as things unfold. So with all of this talk about feminism, what have we achieved so far? Right? What have we done? What has feminism achieved so far? Well, without feminism, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have all this freedom that we have today as women. We wouldn't have the right to vote, equal pay, which I think is still ongoing. There's a lot of work to be done, but hey, we have that. We wouldn't have access to healthcare, reproductive rights, and protection against violence, which is very important. But like I said, it's not a done deal. Feminism is still ongoing. It's a movement. It kind of reminds me of the natural hair movement and how it just seems to have this tide, this trend where it's popular and then it goes down, and it's popular and then it goes down again. So I see some similarities between the feminist movement and the natural hair movement. But I've talked about the natural hair movement in another video, which you guys can check out here.
I am not the friend that's going to encourage you to curse your man out. I'm not going to be the one that's like, girl, F him. Like, let's keep it pushing. We don't need men. Like, come on, we can do our own thing. Like, I am not that. I'm not that. I'm not a feminist. I'm not a woman who is supporting the divide of women and men. Like, I'm not into that. Okay, I want people to be in love. I want people to have good relationships, and I'm going to give you the best possible advice as my friend that I could give you. If you don't want to hear that, that's up to you.
In recent years, as of 2019, South Korean women decided to FUCK men. They decided to go with the 4B movement. I don't know if you've heard about that. Maybe if you were living under the rock, you didn't. But basically what it means is that women are saying no to heterosexual marriage, childbirth, sexual relationships, and romance. That's deep. But it happened and it's still ongoing. It also spread beyond South Korea of recent, especially just a few months ago. People took to social media, calling this out and saying that, you know what, we are supporting South Korean women. We are going for the 4B movement, even in the United States. Internationally, a lot of women were agreeing to this radical feminism and standing up to say, men, we are done with men. We've been there, did it, done it. We're out. We don't want this men anymore, this dusty ass men. But literally, it's not only the dusty ass men, including the high value men. They said no, they don't want anymore. So it's very interesting to see that, yes, we still have a lot of people that are very in on this feminist movement, and not just in on it, but very radical about it. People that would go to like the extremes of saying that we don't want to associate with men at all. It's very interesting to see that we still have some women like that today, even though we know that some of these women that claim to support the radical feminism still would go and participate in the hookup culture. So it's kind of like confusing, like, okay, you don't want to center men, you don't want to have anything to do with men, you're supporting the 4B movement, but then you're still in the hookup culture. How does that work? It's not matching.
Movement, which was started in 2019 by women in South Korea,
they don't want anything to do with men at all. It doesn't matter if the men are good, bad, horrible, whatever. They are restricting sexual access. They're not marrying, not going on dates with men, period. Because what their movement is based in is a rejection of quote unquote conservative values over there. Now I'm gonna just say this. The 4B movement is not gonna work in the United States of America. It's not. And the reason it's not gonna work in the United States of America, for one, is you will always have small sections of pick-meshas that will still give Pookies and Ray Rays access to the draws. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's not gonna work. As long as you have a small cauldron of women giving up the draws to the Pookies, the Ray Rays, whatever the case may be, the 4B movement is dead. You understand me? It is dead on arrival in the West.
The people that are being the loudest about being very anti getting together with men, a lot of you guys are still in situationships and are actively hooking up with men in a non-committal way. Guess where men suck the most? In which cities they suck the most? Cities like New York. I don't know a single person who's having a good time dating in New York right now, because men get all the benefits of being in a relationship with a woman for free from multiple women all the time. They're energy harvesting off of women all the time. Because you guys are like, oh, I don't want the responsibilities of being with a man, and men suck, and blah, blah, blah. But you guys get lonely. You want the validation. Time out. I say this because I needed to hear this years ago. Because let's be intellectually honest about this movement. People are enacting it because philosophically it works, but really, what's the emotional reason? Women are butthurt, and we're saying we're going to take away our feelings and decenter our feelings and our happiness from men. But what do you do when you're hurt? You pull back emotionally first, and then you pull back physically. So the way that women are expressing their nihilism in these cities is by continuing to sleep with people, but not being emotionally involved with them. And that is the opposite order in which things should be done.
But anyway, I'm not here to judge anyone. And to be honest, I'm not even saying either or is bad. I'm not saying it's bad to be a feminist. I'm not saying femininity in any way is bad. But we're going to get into femininity. So let's talk about femininity, because this is where it gets really interesting. So while we have this intense feminist movement, we also have been seeing a rise in femininity content, femininity soft life aesthetic, feminine energy, feminine coaches.
You're going to realize it one day. That happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all of those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart, and following it wherever it chose to go. Happiness was always about being kinder to yourself.
Princess treatment girls, trad wife, this push for women to embrace their feminine energy, which is almost opposite of traditional feminism. Do you see where I'm getting at? Femininity trend focuses on women expressing their feminine energy and living within their feminine energy, projecting more of that in order to attract their dream life, in order to manifest their dream man, that high value man. They teach people, these feminine coaches teach us how to carry ourselves, how to speak, how to dress, how to please and attract, how to be confident and all that, so that you can be, perceived as feminine, attractive, high value, all that.
The first step in activating your feminine energy is obviously looking feminine. An easy way to do that is to wear skirts or dresses all the time. And in the formula, it actually gave me literal examples, Pinterest boards of exactly what to wear to be extremely feminine, classy, because this works best if you just look very classy and you're embracing your natural beauty. The second thing is when you walk into a room, you cannot be putting your energy outward. That will make you demagnetize. So instead of going into a room and being like, oh, I hope people like me, oh, I hope he really likes me, I hope he gives me princess treatment, I hope he asks me out. You want to walk into a room with all of your energy on you, thinking about how obsessed you are with yourself, thinking about how amazing your life is, thinking about how beautiful you look. You want to envision yourself as literal royalty, because people give princess treatment to people who are special, people who are royal. I kid you not, in the formula it tells you exactly how to see yourself as somebody who is royalty, somebody who is feminine, classy, elegant and gives you literally exact affirmations to be thinking in the moment, to always feel like you are feminine royalty, like you are just that freaking girl. The next thing is your self-talk. Whatever you are thinking about yourself in the moment is exactly what people are going to think about you, because your energy speaks, and the way that you think causes you to act differently. Next, the way you act says so much about you. If you want princess treatment and you want people to literally be magnetized by you, they need to see that you are in your feminine energy by the way that you act. So the formula literally says exactly how to act when you go to restaurants, when you go on dates, like in exact situations. This is key because when people look at you, they will assume that you are used to getting princess treatment, you are used to being treated like a feminine goddess. So people will start literally treating you like you've always been spoiled, opening doors for you, paying for you, giving you free things, just doing things for you. And lastly, you want to speak in your feminine energy. You never want to control the situation with what you're saying. Women who are in their feminine energy always talk about what they would like, what would please them, and that basically tells other people what to do. So the formula literally gave me word for word scripts on exactly what to say to get whatever I want, make him buy me flowers, make him open the door for me, always make him pay the bill, and just how to make other people please you 24/7. And if your man is doing something that you don't like, it tells you exactly how to make him start pleasing you again and giving you princess treatment.
And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. They also promote this soft life, soft girl aesthetic, which is very captivating when you look at the whole thing, because who doesn't want to rest in their feminine energy? Of course. Women are tired of working so hard. Women are saying no to independence. They are saying no to capitalism. They are saying no to masculine energy. Women don't want to be going to work and working so hard just to make ends meet when you can just marry a billionaire. Using your feminine energy to attract and manifest that dream life and that dream man. Do you get? That's why we've also been seeing a lot of trend with trad wives, women that just want to be at home and do their wifely, motherly duties of caring for the home and caring for the kids. Once again, I have no issues with that. Of course, women are free to do whatever they want to do. That's fine. But why is there such a big change? Because to me, this just seems like going from one opposite end to the other opposite end. You get, like, there's just this contrast in wanting to be independent and not center men in your world and be free, have your own money, be a boss babe, call the shots, to this very submissive, feminine energy sort of thing. You know, there's a big contrast there. And I would say that I'm not that surprised because, of course, when we have extremes, it's things like this are bound to happen. People are bound to revolt, quit. Once again, it reminds me of the natural hair movement. When things get so complicated and extreme, people are bound to quit and give up. You know, people are giving up on that masculine capitalist energy that we need to work so hard to pay our bills. People are giving up because it's tiring, and women are not really caught for it. And I do support women that want to embrace their feminine energy, because at the end of the day, it's better for us to stay within more of our feminine energy than fighting masculinity.
Femininity is not surrounded or founded on the basis of a man. Okay, again, this is your future. This is something that comes naturally to you. This is for you. This is what is going to make you feel fulfilled in your life. So for you to base what it is to be a feminine woman and to unlock that aspect of yourself on what the male gaze requires is absolutely ridiculous. And that's why I keep telling y'all, stop watching those videos and stop staying on that side of TikTok. Actually go ahead and do your research and find things that will actually be helpful and beneficial to your self-development and growth. Do the research, do the work, read some books, and have an understanding of what this means on the fundamental level.
I believe the world operates on yin-yang energy. I believe we need both masculine and feminine energy. But as a woman, it's easier to rest in your feminine energy than constantly using up your masculine energy. And masculine energy comes when you're trying to compete for something, when you're trying to hit a goal, when you're trying to work so hard in your place of work and all that. You know, it can be really stressful. And even men have feminine energy, but they also know how to, use this energy. They know when to switch into their feminine energy. just the same way women know when to switch into their masculine energy. So both energies are important. I'm just trying to say that we shouldn't have this unrealistic expectation that women would only live in their feminine energy, because there's nothing like that. As we can see, women are swinging in both directions. Some women honestly feel like certain feminist ideologies do not resonate with them, so they're exploring other ways of expressing, their femininity. The beauty of modern feminism is that it's diverse. I personally don't see any reason why anyone should stay on the extreme. It's always nice to have a bit of both worlds, in my opinion. You can let me know yours. People are free to be able to choose when they want to put in the energy to, build that career, build that life that will give them freedom to really enjoy their feminine energy and to also enjoy this dream life that they are trying to build. I just think that women can have both worlds and try to balance it out. I mean, it's not perfect, but try to make do of it, as most of us are doing, right?
Want to be independent no more. I'm tired. And again, I don't want to be a housewife. Like a lot of women want a rich man or a husband to sit at home, raise the kids, and be a housewife. That's not me. I gotta have my own going on, whether I'm a landlord, whether I got some restaurants running. I'm gonna get up and go to work. I just want to be able to have the two, like you said, to go back to the point. Two is better than one.
So this is not about telling women that one way is better than the other, because boss babe, hyper independent woman, it's just not cutting it for most of us. Most of us are not cut up for that life. And this other extreme of you can only talk this way to attract your dream life, it's not exactly working for a lot of us too. You know what I mean? But what do you guys think? I mean, what do you think when it comes to feminism and femininity, especially femininity content and coaching and this soft life aesthetic, this princess treatment, feminine energy aesthetic? What do you guys think? Let me know, because that is something that I feel like is trending right now. Feminism is not exactly trending at the moment. It was trending a few months ago with the 4B movement, but that was very short-lived. Most of the time now, people are talking more of, living a soft life. Who doesn't want a soft life? I want a soft life. Do you? Do you? Let me know what part of the spectrum you belong. I'm not here to judge you if you belong in the extreme radical feminism spectrum or if you believe in the femininity spectrum. I'm not here to judge. I just want to know what you guys think, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. Drop your comments down below. Let's learn from you. Let us know about your experience. If you're living the soft girl life, let us know how you are doing it, how you're really enjoying that soft girl life. And remember, feminism is an ongoing movement. It's here to make our lives better. Let's not just look at it as something that our aunties or our moms did, or something that we don't really care about, because at the end of the day, it's here to help both men and women make this society better for all of us. So yeah, I'm done talking, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in this next video, and in the meantime, keep shining. Bye.